Welcome back to Gamer Sanctuary. It is actually week 5 of the Intrusion at Ora Recentes campaign. Sorry about the gap in games. It's just been a crazy couple of weeks with school starting up and lots of stuff going on in everyone's personal lives. Brother Captain Jeremiah went and got himself hitched a couple weeks ago, and he's back from his honeymoon finally to catch up some games. So anyway, we're going to be playing the final week of the campaign tonight, and we have a special mission to be played. One of the players unlocked a secret objective that he had, and he's going to play a special mission. He got to challenge someone to play it against him, so he chose me. I still have my orcs. We're going to bring a list that Oscar decided to put together for me last weekend, and we'll see how it works against Jeff and his combination Space Marine Eldar list. Here we have 2,000 points worth of orcs. It is going to be led by War Boss Groat Def Cruncha. Now, the last campaign game we played, Def Cruncha suffered an injury and was -1 weapon skill, so I actually had to spend some of his campaign points to buy that back. So unfortunately, he's doesn't have a whole lot of campaign upgrades. We also have a big mech with the super custom force field. We have Clive Pitt Scratcha. He's going to be tagging along with 3 Mega Knobs with Combi Scorches and Boss Pulls, and there's a mech with the Kill Saw and a custom Mega Slugger. Both of them have Grot Oilers, and there's a reason why we have lots of mechs, because we got lots of armor to bring along. I have 2 Death Dreads. We got Blacken and Deca, our pair. Blacken has got a pair of Scorches, and Deca has a pair of custom Mega Blasters. We have 3 Killicans with Grot Zukas. Sorry, they're not WYSIWYG, but you only get 1 of each weapon type in the Killican box. Def Crunch is going to be hanging out with 30 Slugger Boys, 3 big shooters, and a knob with all the fixins. We have 2 squads of 11 and 12 shooter boys. Power Claw, Boss Pole with the knob, Rockets in this one, and Big Shooter in this one. And we are also going to be using Drazden the Hairy as the weird boy, the Warp Head, hanging out with this squad. And we have a Daka Jet also. It's going to be coming in from reserve. That's 2,000 points. Like I said, Jeff is bringing his combination of Space Marine and Eldar, and it's all bikes. This is going to be crazy cool. As part of the campaign rules, Jeff was a survivor from the first chapter of the campaign, so he actually got to bring he could use any 2 factions that were involved in the original campaign. So he had his Space Marines from the first time, and he's added his Eldar as well. They get to the rule we set up was any allies within the survivors faction counted as allies of convenience. It didn't matter if they were already battle brothers or come the apocalypse. So all allies for him count as allies of convenience, which is pretty cool. So he's got 2 regular bike squads, attack bikes here. This one's got Meltas. This one has grav guns, and that one in the back has flamers. No attack bike in the back squad. We have his Chapter Master and a Librarian, both on bikes. The Chapter Master is loaded out, and he's been upgraded like crazy. One of the special rules that your Supreme Warlord gets is that he has an Inspiring Presence. He allows rerolls for leadership tests within a certain radius. Jeff has done everything he can to upgrade his Chapter Master's Inspiring Presence. He's increased the radius. He's increased or added to the universal special rules that he can spread out. So he had a big old 12-inch stubborn bubble he was providing. And then the last game, his Chapter Master got injured, and for 1 game only, lost his Inspiring Presence. So all those upgrades are going to be gone. He is still brutish, though. He has the Shield Eternal, Thunderhammer, and a bunch of other war gear that makes him nasty. His command squad has a couple guys with, there's a Power Fist in there. There's 3 of them, I believe, have Storm Shields as well. It's just going to be a tough nut to crack. As far as the... and last thing with the Marines, we have 2 Storm Talons with Skyhammer missiles. With the Eldar, we have 2 Windrider jet bike squads, the Wraith Knight with Sun Cannon and Shield, and then a Farseer and Warlocks on jet bike, Seer Council with jet bikes. And everybody is WYSIWYG. There's a couple, 4 Spears in there, and 1 Witchblade?
3 and 2.
Oh, 3 and 2. Excuse me, 3 and 2. So, you'll see why he wanted to bring his Eldar when we talk about the mission in just a second. So here we have the board layout. You can see we have the Eldar dais in the middle and 4 objective markers around it. Each one of those points is an objective worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. We are playing the Webway Assault mission out of the Iandan book. So now that I'm deployed, Jeff is going to be able to deploy a Webway portal within 12 inches of a table edge that all of his units are going to come from reserve out of. So he gets to pick any side basically to come attack me from. and I believe he does have the first turn, so I had to kind of castle up and make sure that I am totally protected. Now, fortunately for me, he can only bring half of his units on in that first turn, and if they're Eldar units, they may assault the turn they arrive through the portal. So that Wraith Knight might end up doing some serious damage to somebody early on. But otherwise, we're going to see where he drops his portal and then get started. Top of turn 1, Eldar bring half of their army onto the board through the webway portal that Jeff deployed right there in the corner. He had to put the entire portal within 12 inches of a table edge. So he brought some of his bike squads in, the Flamers over in this one, torched a whole bunch of boys here, as did the Sun Cannon from the Wraith Knight. The Melta guns over here, and the Multi-Melta all shot at the Dreadnought, but thanks to the super custom force field right here, I managed to make the invulnerable save. The Storm Talon came in because Jeff also has the airstrip as one of his upgrades, which allows him to bring his flyers in on the first turn instead of having to wait. He decided to try to shoot the back of that dread, so I thought I was going to lose Deca in the first turn, but again, super mega custom force field saves the day. I rolled 3 6s for all my force field saves so far, so I'm pretty happy about that. Otherwise, though, the Seer Council blew up the truck right here, killed a couple of the boys here, killed a couple of the boys in the Weird Boys squad, and one more of the boys in the big mob. But the only thing I actually lost was a truck, so I'm pretty happy about that, and I'm going to see if I can't inflict some casualties in return. Bottom of turn 1 coming up. Bottom of turn 1. Of course, my entire force comes to move this way. I started by kind of spreading everybody out, and then trying to launch Killbolt at a whole bunch of the bikes and the jet bikes here, but all their cover saves were passed, so they didn't take any strength 10 AP 2 hits from that. Meanwhile, you notice there's this giant blue monstrosity that is no longer there. That's because Groat Death Cruncher and his knob buddy tag teamed the Wraith Knight and ripped it to shreds. They did 6 wounds to it with their strength 9 and strength 10 power claws and destroyed him. This squad assaulted out and destroyed killed 2 of the bikes in combat. Shot 1 more down with some of the shooting attacks from everybody here. The Grotzukas and the Flamers from the Dreadnought over here managed to kill a couple of the bikes. There's 2 left here, and the Dreadnought did get the charge in, but everybody whiffed in the entire combat. They whiffed with their crack grenades, and the Dreadnought missed all 5 of his swings too. And that's going to be it for turn 1. We're going to move into turn 2, and Jeff's going to start rolling for his reserves. Top of turn 2, Jeff does get all of his reserves in. His massive command biker squad just kind of came in and hid in the trees, ready to come around to the corner next turn. The other squad came in from behind. I did a good job of kind of clogging up the middle for him, so he couldn't come at me this way. He had to kind of make room first. I did forget to mention the 2 squads he had that were in combat, because he is using White Scar's chapter tactics, were able to hit and run, and both got away. So one of them ended up way over here with some turbo boosting, and the other one came back here just to take some pot shots. The Guardian bikes, the Seer Council, and a whole bunch of other stuff targeted my big mob of fearless boys, and they are down to the Knob with a wound, the War Boss who's untouched, and a single boy with a Slugga and Choppa. The Weird Boys unit, though, failed the leadership test from the shooting that they had from the Storm Talon, and are running this way off the table, but I do have a trick up my sleeve to get them back in the fight. Let's see, what else? The Chapter Master dropped an orbital bombardment. He tried to drop it right on the Mega Knobs, and it scattered really far back. Only hit 1 in the Killicans. He is now immobilized, so I have 2 units of Killicans now. And the Death Threat over here was destroyed by the Multi-Melta and Grab Guns from that biker squad when they came on. So we're going to move into bottom of 2 and see if I can't keep pushing him back towards his webway. Bottom of turn 2, I continue to push this way. My mech detached from the squad to actually repair the immobilized result on that Killican, so he's still part of the unit, so they're okay. And I tried as best I could to blow up the 3 jet bikes that Jeff had screened his Seer Council with. I managed to kill 1 on the end, and with the run roll from my my calling my Wa, I managed to get my War Boss around the corner and charge into the squad of the Seer Council. I challenged the Farseer, killed the Farseer in single combat with an insta-kill strength 10 hit, and then he did 1 wound to my he did 1 wound to my War Boss in return, and then killed 1 of the boys, and then rolled an 8 for his leadership check, and then they ran off the table through the webway portal. So I consolidated into the ruins a little bit. This squad, though, I thought I was going to be all macho and come flying in here with a boatload of attacks, and I whiffed with the boys. I only hit, I think, 3 times, and I wounded once, and then the knob missed all 4 of his swings. So that fight was a complete stalemate, and nothing happened. And that's it. I didn't have anything left to shoot at the flyers, and like I said, I tried to concentrate fire on those jet bikes. So we're going to move into the top of turn 3. Top of turn 3 could have been an awful lot worse for me. Jeff managed to wreck one of my killicans with shooting from the Storm Talon, and I made a couple good saves with the custom Mega Force Field on that one. And then he tried to charge with the Chapter Master's massive bike squad, the Librarian and Command Squad, and they fell 1 inch short on their charge. So they got stuck back there. The Mega Knobs are still sitting over here with nothing to do. They have targets now because both Storm Talons are in hover mode. This one put a world of hurt on this Dreadnought. He's down to a single hull point. He's immobilized and lost one of his custom Mega Blasters. The truck over here got wrecked by the 2 biker boys. And over there, you can see that War Boss Groat Def Cruncha is no more. He got killed by the Eldar Guardians and their Blade Storm shots. They had a whole bunch of nice hits from that. Oh, I'm sorry, no. The multi-melter from the attack bike killed him. Took the last wound off him there. So we're going to move into bottom of turn 3, see if my DACA jet finally decides to show up and do something. And again, I'm going to keep trying to push him back towards his gate. I did manage also to kill one of the Guardian jet bike squads with these boys, and again, they fled through the warp or the webway portal. Moving into bottom of turn 3, the DACA jet comes in and strips a hull point off of the jinking Storm Talon. Over here, the 4 Grotzuka shots from the Killicans managed to finish off those 2 bikers, and the Weird Boy and his boys charged into and killed those last 2 bikers over here. So we're racking up some kill points, but they're about ready to kill them. That's jinking, but it's still a threat. And these boys here charged and killed that Storm Talon with Power Claws. But the big news, I managed to get in there and charge and only kill a single of the member of the Honor Guard, and they did 3 wounds in return, but I managed to make my leadership check on a 2. So I am tying up his massive command blob with my big mech and his boys. And that's it. We're going to move into turn 4. Top of turn 4, the bike squad over here shot at and then charged and killed the Weird Boy and his boys. The Guardians tried to do their best against this boy squad and managed to do their worst and were killed in return. The Storm Talon kind of hovered back here and finished off the Death Dread right here. But all my Mega Knobs are dead now because of instant death, Power Fist, and Thunderhammers. I did nothing in return. It was terrible. Some real horrible rolling in that combat, and some nice feel no pains from Jeff last round, and that unit is really scary. So now we're going to move into bottom of 4 and see if I can't drop some templates on him. Bottom of turn 4, my DACA jet came flying back over, and along with the Grotzukas, tried to kill some of those the Marines, but with their 2-up Jinx save, they survived it all. The cans then charged in, killed one of the Marines, and put a wound on the Librarian before being glanced to death by Thunderhammers and Power Fists. So they are all wrecked. Those boys shot at and tried to kill those Marines. They killed 2 of them actually with shooting, which is pretty good, and then failed to charge. So those boys are all I have left on the ground, and they're about to get jumped on by the Chapter Master and his cronies. But I do still have my DACA jet, and he has a Storm Talon who's going to come get me. So we're going to move into top of 5. Here we are at the bottom of turn 5. We'll just do all turn 5 in one take. That is the only thing I have left on the table, and he is barrel rolling himself out of harm's way because the Storm Talon came up and shot him and did 1 hull point on a glancing hit with an assault cannon, but that was it. The bike squad kind of just broke into 3 different directions. The regular bikers, or the command squad, went off and chased down the squad of boys, while the Librarian grabbed that objective, Chapter Master grabbed the central one, and that squad grabbed that 3rd one. Final victory point total, Jeff had 13 kill points from my army, plus Warlord, and First Blood for 15 points, plus 9 points for the objectives. So that is a grand total of 24 points. Meanwhile, I got 8 kill points, and that's it. Nothing else. No First Blood or Warlord for me. Brutal game, and it really came down to the last couple turns with that fight, with the Chapter Master and his big squad doing all the heavy damage, and right there. If I'd been able to just survive some of that, I might have been able to contain all those victory points at the end. But alas, it was not to be. So Jeff accomplishes his secret mission for the campaign, which was to gain access to the webway portal right here, and now he's going to actually enter the webway with his bikers and be searching for Khan, who was lost in the early part of the campaign. So fun story, fun fluff, and a great way to end this this chapter of the Ora Recentes campaign. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking if I'm going to post the rules we used. I will do that, but you're going to have to come to our Facebook page to find them. So go ahead and get on Facebook and look for us at Fresh Coast Gaming, and hit me up there. Thanks a lot.